Your money is sitting in your bank account. It feels safe. It feels still. But it is not staying still. Right now, today, it is worth less than it was yesterday. And tomorrow, it will be worth less again. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly what inflation is doing to your money right now, and why doing nothing with your cash may be costing you far more than you realize. Because inflation does not look dramatic. It is a silent thief, and most people never even notice it happening. Imagine a £10 note. A few years ago, that £10 might have bought you a full bag of shopping. Now, maybe it buys half a bag. The note did not change. The number printed on it stayed exactly the same. But what it can actually do in the real world shrunk. That is inflation. Your money looks the same, but it buys less every single year. And this is why inflation is so dangerous psychologically. Because your bank balance does not fall visibly. You still see £1,000, £5,000, £10,000. The number feels stable, safe, untouched. But in reality, the purchasing power underneath that number is slowly eroding, quietly, constantly. And most people only realize inflation exists when prices suddenly feel painful. Food, fuel, rent, energy. But inflation is not just prices going up, it is your money buying less. That is a completely different way of thinking about it. And once you see inflation properly, the numbers become genuinely uncomfortable. Right now, UK CPI inflation is running at 3.3%. That is up from 3.0% the month before. Over the last 3 years, UK consumer prices have increased by over 20%. And overall, UK prices are now almost 30% higher than they were in January 2020. Think about what that actually means. Every pound you saved in 2020 now buys dramatically less. Your money lost purchasing power while sitting still. And most people felt this without understanding the maths behind it. That is why 67% of UK households reported their cost of living was increasing in March 2026. People feel poorer because, in real terms, many of them are poorer. Their wages did not rise fast enough to offset rising prices, and their cash savings quietly lost value in the background. This is not some rare economic event either. The Bank of England's inflation target is 2% per year. Inflation is built into the system. The goal is literally for prices to rise over time, which means your money is designed to buy less over time. And here is the part that makes it personal. Most people think, at least my money is safe in the bank. But safe from what? Because it may be safe from theft, while still being quietly destroyed by inflation. Most current accounts pay 0% interest. Zero. That means if inflation is 3.3%, every pound sitting there is losing 3.3% of its purchasing power every year. Every single day your money sits there doing nothing, it becomes slightly less valuable. Silently. And even when you move money into a decent savings account, the picture is not always as good as it looks. Imagine your savings account pays 4% interest. Sounds good. Sounds responsible. But if inflation is 3.3%, your real return is only 0.7%. That is the part most people never calculate. They see interest being added and assume they are getting richer. But if prices are rising almost as fast as the savings account itself, the real gain is tiny. And during the huge inflation surge in 2022 and 2023, many savers experienced negative real returns. Their savings accounts were paying interest, but their money was still losing purchasing power overall. Imagine how strange that is. Your balance goes up, but your money becomes less useful at the same time. That is inflation. It disguises loss as stability. Now let's make this even more real. At 2% inflation, Prices roughly double every 36 years. At 5% inflation, prices double in around 14 years. 14. That means something costing £5,000 today could cost £10,000 in 14 years. And the £10,000 sitting untouched in a current account today, its purchasing power could effectively feel more like £5,000. That should completely change how you think about cash sitting idle long term. Because doing nothing is not neutral. Doing nothing is a financial decision. This is why inflation feels so different from normal loss. You do not see money physically leaving your account. Nothing dramatic happens. No alert appears. No warning message pops up. The number stays there. It disguises loss as stability. And once you understand that, your definition of safe starts changing. So what can you actually do? First, check your current account interest rate. Seriously, most people never even look. If it is paying 0% interest while inflation is above zero, your purchasing power is falling constantly. Then look at where your emergency fund is sitting. Cash still matters. Emergency money needs accessibility, but there is a difference between accessible cash and completely idle cash. A higher interest savings account will at least slow the damage inflation causes. And most importantly, understand that holding everything in cash long-term carries risk too. That is the big mindset shift. People think risk only means investing, but inflation is a risk, a silent one. Because over time, inflation guarantees that untouched money buys less. Doing nothing is not the safe option. It just feels safe. Real financial safety is not just protecting the number in your account. It is protecting what that number can actually do for your life. And once you understand inflation properly, you stop measuring wealth by the number on a screen. You start measuring it by purchasing power, by freedom, by what your money can still buy in the future. If this video changed the way you think about money sitting in the bank, subscribe to Pound Smart Pete.